All right. There. It's you in the jail. This is the DA. There's the DA. All right, I think we got everybody here. There may be others that join us later. I think it's Sprint Haynes, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
In McDonald Bell. And I do have a copy of the mental health assessment. I'll consider that for the purpose of hearing. Did you want to call your client to testify?
Yes, sir, I do.
If you would raise your right hand and be sworn. You swear or affirm testimony about to give me the truth, the whole truth, and the truth so help you God.
Yes, sir.
All right. You can go ahead.
Thank you, Judge. Is your name Brent Haynes?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand that today you are asking the court for mental health personal bonds on 5 charges in Collin County. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, up until about 6 months ago, things mental health wise and as far as any involvement with the criminal justice for you, is that right?
You cut out there 6 months ago, mental health wise, and then it cut out.
And criminal justice involvement, things were pretty normal for you. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have a number of stressors all at once that led to a mental health decline and actually a couple of stays in mental health institutions?
Yes, ma'am.
Will you tell the judge what happened kind of all at once that led to a decline in your mental well-being?
It's a whole series of events that were back to back, and some were stacked right on top of each other. But the initial, breakdown was with the death of my mother. And she was a lifelong drug addict, and I watched as she died way too young. And the good news is it kept me off drugs my whole life, but it was very painful, and it brought up a lot of childhood memories, of not so good ones. And while still dealing with that, let me try to get the order correct, but in there, I discovered that my wife was unfaithful. So I was going through a very painful divorce. I thought that I do was the last time I'd say I do forever. I thought we were solid. My best friend passed away on May 8th or 9th, somewhere in there. I had a near-death experience myself while working, almost drowned. And like on May 12th, the date of this accident, I can't honestly tell you what happened. My behavior was probably bizarre.
Okay. But leading up to this, a number of losses and grief that you had been suffering in your family. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. And believe it or
And
not,
then-
even my dog died in the middle of this. 15 years.
And then following that sprint, following the May 13th incident, did you end up going to both Methodist Richardson and Carrollton Springs to get treatment for your mental health?
Yes, ma'am. I went straight to Carrollton Springs upon leaving. And go ahead.
Have you received mental health diagnosis while being at Carrollton Springs or before?
Yes, ma'am. Well, actually, before Carrollton Springs, I started having troubles a couple of years ago. I could just tell something was wrong. So repeated trips to my primary, and she initially diagnosed me as high anxiety and depression. And then when I left and went straight to Carrollton Springs, they added in, I don't remember all the terminology, but I do remember bipolar, manic, PTSD, and then a couple other names that are too smart for me.
Okay. And are you willing to take mental health medication to treat those diagnoses that you've received?
Yes, ma'am.
And you understand that if the court grants a mental health PR bond for these charges, you will have to call Kathy every single week to check in. Will you do that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You will also have to show up to the court once a month to show Judge Baxter that you're compliant and complete anything else that he asks of you. Are you willing to do that?
Absolutely. Yes, ma'am.
And you understand that you, while you have suffered loss, you have some good friends that are willing to not only provide you housing, but will pick you up from the jail and support you while you're on bond. Is that correct?
Ma'am, thank God for them.
He's an upstanding citizen and he's going to do everything he can to help you be successful. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a vehicle so you can drive to court anytime that you are required to. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. He is in possession of it.
Okay. Jeremy has that. And then you have a phone. And so you also would be willing and able to make those phone calls to Kathy whenever necessary.
Yes, ma'am. He has that too.
Okay. And if the judge puts any other conditions on you, are you willing to do those things as well?
Yes, ma'am. I want my
Okay.
life back.
Okay. And you're willing to do whatever it takes to get the mental health treatment to get you there. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. I'm looking forward to it. I really would like to get back on the proper meds that keep me level, keep me feeling good, anxiety gone and so on and so forth, and would really like to get some counseling. And just, the time in here has been beneficial in the sense that it allowed me to stop and process some of the information, because it all just happened so fast and on top of each other. So
I'll pass the witness.
Any questions from the state?
No questions from the state, Your Honor.
Anything else from defendant?
Nothing else, defendant rest.
Anything else from the state?
Just to read the criminal history into the record, Your Honor.
Okay.
On July 15th, 2022, defendant was convicted of a DWI. On May 12th, 2023, the charges were herefore occurred: deadly conduct, discharge of a firearm, failed to ID, evading, UCW, DWI second, and a duty on striking less than $200. On May 29th of 2022, defendant was convicted of a UCW. On August 6th, 2023, sorry, that was May 29th, 2023. August 6th, 2023, defendant was convicted of a criminal trespass class A, given 31 days. August 11th, 2023, convicted of a theft class B, 31 days. On August 29th, convicted of indecent assault, 31 days. And that's the end of his criminal record, Your Honor.
Okay.
And the state would just object due to the instant offenses.
Yeah, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and get you out on bond. You need to do what you say you're gonna do, which is stay off alcohol, especially.
sir.
And what you'll have to have a deep lung device installed in any vehicle you operate, okay?
yes, sir.
It's required as a condition of a DWI second. So you'll have to have that on there. You'll have to call Kathy every week. Kathy's online with us right now. You will also come see me once a month.
Yes, sir.
And we'll make sure everything's going okay. Kathy, do you want to share anything else?
Yes, once you get released and you get to your destination, go ahead and give me a call today, okay?
You're Kathy?
Yeah.
Yes, and then you'll be receiving a folder. Hello, you'll be receiving a folder when you get released. with
Yeah,
my
that's it.
contact info.
Okay, and I'll have your phone number, and I'll have your phone number as well, Kim. And the only correction is, I did not get a DUI in I had no troubles in 2022. It was 2012. From 2012 to this year, I've been fine.
Okay. But we'll get you out, do what you say you're gonna do, and I'll see you pretty soon. I think first check-in with me is gonna be
November 9th.
the 9th. Okay, yeah, November 9th is first check-in with me, okay?
Thank you, sir.
I'll see
Thank
you
you,
then.
Kim. Thank
Good
you,
luck.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I won't let
Thank you.
y'all down.